Hello folks, and welcome to a Wise Game video, where in today's video I'm going to be switching it up a bit, and we're actually not going to be covering in today's video PvP. What we are going to be looking at in today's video is a new addition that they added in 10.2.5 Dragonflight. And that addition is actually PvE driven, which is called Follower Dungeons. So let's step in and give this a look. So first of all, what exactly is Follower Dungeons? Follower Dungeons is a new implement that they just added in the game for Dragonflight, where you could solo dungeons now and be the only player in that group. Because as we know lately, they came out with a lot of solo implements to do with PvP, like Rated Battlegrounds, and also 3 arenas. But to actually get the big rewards in the game, the big items, the big gear, the big weapons in the game, you really still have to do those with other players. Follower Dungeons is basically the lowest tier dungeon in the game, or I should say dungeons in the game. So you're not going to get very highly geared by just doing these. And eventually, if you end up taking your PvE to that upper level, you are going to end up doing mythics and then raids. So that does involve playing with other players. But this is a lot of fun if you want to try a new build, a new rotation. You just feel like hanging out, doing your own thing. This is an awesome implement that they added in the game. So let's take a deeper look into this and see exactly what's involved. I cover a lot of details in today's video about this new addition to the game. So I do advise watching it to the very end. So the first thing we have to do is queue up to get involved in a follower dungeon. So just like we've been using in the game right along, we want to open up Dungeon Finder. And then next, in that box on the top where it says type, you're gonna click on that and you're gonna pick Follower Dungeons from the list. Oh yeah, and also you have to pick whatever spec you're running. So if it's heals, DPS, tanking, so on and so forth. This here way, it's gonna match you properly with the NPCs that you're gonna need to carry this off. In the list here of Follower Dungeons, if you click the box on the very top, Dragonflight Follower, that's going to make it where all the check marks for all the dungeons is going to be activated. So that means when you queue up, you could get any one of those dungeons. But then you could also click on each individual box next to a particular dungeon if that's the dungeon that you want to do from the list. Once you do that, you're not going to be put in queue, and the queues are pretty much almost instant. And that's about it when it comes to getting involved in the queue system for Follower Dungeons. Next, we're going to take a look at the AI party members that are going to team up with you. So at this point, there's only a handful of them. So the person top on the list is going to be the default tank for most of these, which is a protection pally. Then next, you're going to have as a default healer, if you're not playing a healer, you're going to get this Resto Druid. And then next in the list, as a DPS, you're going to get this Fire Mage. And then next in the list is a Beast Hunter, who's going to be obviously a DPSer, with 2 pets, Nyx and Ash. And then last on the list that we see right here is an Enhancement Shaman. He's going to function as a substitute, so he may be in the group or he may not be in the group. Now the next thing that I want to put our attention to is that if you notice down in my action bars or my hotbars where my skills are, we're going to notice that icon. This is called Dungeon Assistance, and this is a really cool implement. So defaulted, this is going to be turned off. So you would have to click on it to turn it on and activate it. So with it off, you're going to lead the NPC group and they're going to follow you. But now if you activate it, you could chill out And the tank is going to take over and lead the group, and they know how to navigate these dungeons rather well. This is really good if you're brand new to playing these dungeons and you're not sure where to go. The AI system that they use for this, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, you would think that you're actually playing with real players. So for most of the video going forward, I am going to be using dungeon assistance, where the tank's going to lead the group. Now, another great thing too is that they're only going to move so far. If you stop, they're going to stop. This is excellent if you have to go AFK, because also you don't have the pressure of holding up real players. They will move a couple of feet ahead of you, so if they do get aggro, of course they're going to start fighting. But you're going to be amazed on how they could take care of themselves even if you stepped away AFK. So now the tank is indicated by the skull icon above her head, and we can see that she is moving a good 20 to 40 feet ahead of me. And then she's taunting by using a ranged ability. Now here we could see the tank with the skull icon going down the steps, but then we notice that she does stop and then turn around. Then as soon as I stop moving again, then she proceeds down the stairs. It looks like the range here could be about 40 feet, give or take. And then we could see right here she paused again. Okay, now next we're going to test them when it comes to a boss fight. So here's the first boss that we're going to encounter in this dungeon. So as you can see, I decided to sit out here, and I want to see if they're going to be able to take care of this boss by themselves. But keep in mind, if you're still within the box range of the boss, you're still going to get hit by AoEs, so on and so forth. And also ground effects. But if you're still within range of your healer, which is usually about 40 yards, even if you're not actually fighting, the healer should still keep you pretty much topped off. So as we see right here, they're doing a real fantastic job chipping away at the health pool of this boss. And we also see that our whole team is still pretty much topped off. Okay, now I did edit out some of this, so we're not sitting here watching a 15-minute fight. But now we're noticing now that the NPCs are getting rather low. I think one's dead. Let's see what happens next if they actually come back, if they resurrect, so on and so forth. Okay, now they're pretty much all dead, and now the boss is coming after me. Okay, we could still see that one of the NPCs is still hanging in there. Once he kills off the last NPC, we could see that they pretty much resurrect and come back. And we could even see now that their health pool is starting to go back up due to the healer, including my own health. I'm not really 100% sure of how strong the DPS NPCs are, but I'm sure if I was in there fighting along with them, this fight would have been a lot quicker. But again, the main purpose of this video is I wanted to show you guys what these NPCs can do in a solo environment. And I have to say, it is quite impressive. Okay, so we could see that a couple of the NPCs died again. Okay, so now the tank died, and two other NPCs also died. We got one guy hanging in there. And look at that, the last standing NPC, I'm not sure if that was the druid, seemed to have taken this boss down. I'll tell you, the AI in this game is unbelievable. Let's see what happens next if the party starts to resurrect. So actually, correction, it seems like the last standing NPC that killed him was actually the hunter. And now we could see that they're starting to resurrect once again. Absolutely phenomenal. So that's basically how your followers operate in a dungeon situation. They are very powerful, and they can solo most of these bosses and mobs. But keep in mind, with your help, these mobs and bosses will go down a lot quicker. So now, before wrapping up today's video, I just want to go over a few other details. The loot. What kind of loot do you get in follower dungeons? Basically, you're going to get the same kind of loot that you would get in a normal dungeon at level 70. So the base level, item level of these is going to be 421. And by what it says here, it seems like that these can even be an upgrade. Or I should say upgradable. The loot scales with the player's level, the same as in normal dungeons. Follower dungeon loot drops at the same rate as a normal dungeon. However, NPCs cannot receive loot. So any piece that would go to an NPC is instead awarded to the player from their loot table. Now, once you do complete the dungeon and you do beat the last boss, the followers are going to say in the chat pane that we are now done and you can now leave this dungeon. And I think that this covers most of the details when it comes to follower dungeons. Now, always keep in mind, I do add updates in the comment section of the video. Because we know with this being new, they could always change things in future patches. If I do hear about these changes, I will try to update them again in the comment section of the video. So I hope this information helped you guys. And remember to sub up, ring that bell notification, leave a comment down below because we love to hear from you. And again, thanks for watching Wise Gamer.